Hi, I'm Roy Pettifis. I'm a licensed counselor in Lafayette, Louisiana, where I specialize in working with adolescents and families. I'm pumped to be able to join you today by way of offering a brief introduction to an incredible resource that the National Federation for Catholic Youth Ministry is providing to families to help them be able to communicate effectively during this COVID time of crisis, this time that is so uncertain, this time that is so different and challenging in so many ways. Yet it can be a time of opportunity, and I believe that this tool, this resource that the Federation has provided, is going to be a phenomenal instrument in bringing into this time of challenge a real opportunity for adults to be able to connect with young people. And that's a key word that I want to focus on is connect. Young people, all of our deepest desires of our hearts is to be connected ultimately to God, but the incarnation, God has us experiencing that in this lifetime through one another. And teens, more than anything else, want to be meaningfully connected to their parents, but that can be hard. That can be hard in the best of times, considering, adolescents are trying to figure out what's going on inside of them, much less be able to articulate it. They're busy. And yet now we've got a time when teens and families in general are much less busy, and we've got the time and we've got the opportunity to have some conversations and to be able to connect. What we know in research in many different fields has shown this to be true in ministry, sociology, psychology, is that when we feel connected to other people, we do better spiritually, psychologically, and physically. And so this resource is powerful, but yet it's simple. It's broken into three main parts. The first one is to just ask, to step in and have the conversation, acknowledge what's going on. Special note to those of you with high school seniors to be able to acknowledge the unique struggle that they are experiencing. And grief is the word. You've probably read a lot of articles about naming this as grief, and it's ambiguous grief. We're grieving life the way we knew it. We're adjusting to life without a whole lot of certainty. There are a lot of milestones. There are a lot of rituals and closure and celebrations that were supposed to happen this spring for a lot of young people, especially high school seniors, as well as 7th or 8th graders, depending upon which grade they go to high school in your area. And so to acknowledge it, don't try to make a light of it. Don't blow it up into something more than it's not, but to be able to say, I can't imagine how hard this is for you. And to be able to step into that, ask open-ended questions, and validate their feelings. That's really, really powerful. The next one is provide support. In addition to listening, provide support. And remember that support isn't necessarily counseling. We know that as therapists, most therapists will tell you that the vast majority of the value that we give our clients is by virtue of listening. When people feel heard, there are actual neural pathways that change in the brain. There are chemicals that are released in the brain that provide feelings that can only be likened to winning the lottery. So just be listening and active listening. So tell your teen what you're hearing them say. Of course, don't have this canned and formalized. Use your own language. Be comfortable as you can with it. But understand that if you're not used to having deeper conversations or longer, more meaningful conversations with teens, that it might feel a little awkward. And that's okay. Tell your teen that. Say, you know what, this is a little awkward and we normally don't do this, but tell me how you're doing. How are you handling all of this? I would imagine it's hard. And then the final step is we love folks where they are, but we always love them too much to leave them where they are, right? And so we want to empower growth and we want to encourage resilience. And so the questions there are just given to you, and you of course put them in your own words. And to be able to connect them spiritually. And some young people I hear are doing really well. To be able to say, well, how are you doing? How are you growing? How might you find God in this? Where might God be present? And if God isn't present, what's that like for you? And so there's a whole list of questions and tools, but to be able to encourage resilience, encourage them to be able to not just kind of stop and stop growing and be complacent, but to incorporate their faith and to reach out to you, encourage them to say, this isn't the last conversation that we want to have. So thanks so much to the Federation and to all of those who have contributed to this amazing resource. I really pray that you find it helpful and trust that you and yours are in my prayers during this challenging time. God bless.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mary Beth Eberhard. A great deal is being said lately about the missing experiences for many of our youth during this time of the COVID-19 pandemic. I wanted to share with you my experiences as a teacher, as a writer, and as a mother of 8 kids, how our family is attempting to help our kids process through these missed experiences and their feelings during this time of the pandemic. So to begin with, we have family meetings. We have them quite frequently in our house. The discussion usually begins by asking them how they're doing, right? So right now we've got there's a lot of emotions in the house. We're all stuck together, and we've got to figure out how to make this work. So the first question we have for our kids is, how are you feeling? I have a 8-year-old daughter who is missing her first communion. She has her dress hung in her room, and there's a longing. She's missing that experience. She's missing that rite of passage, and she's missing Jesus. She's been waiting for a long time for this. So she was counting the days. So and I have a son who is my oldest and is heading off to be a missionary in this upcoming year, and there's a lot of loss experiences for him there as well. So when we ask them how are they doing, we'll get I'm good, and then so we press a little into that, right? We'll say something along the lines of, tell me more. I see that you're struggling. And then we'll get a little bit more, we'll get I'm missing my friends, or I just wish that I could do this, or I wish I could do that. And so then the second thing we want to do as parents is we want to provide the support. So we want to say to them, okay, I hear you. I hear and I see that you are missing these experiences, and you're frustrated. And those are all fair things to feel. Yeah, they make sense. Now I need you to take those emotions and those feelings, and we need to move beyond them, or we need to take them and use them for a greater purpose. And that's the really cool part about being Catholic, actually, and being Christian, is that we are a people of sacrifice. We are a people of charity. We're a people of love. We're a people of hope. And my goal during this time of the pandemic is to teach my children, to remind them of their roots and how they can go out and use this time of suffering, and they can enrich their lives and the lives of others. So that is the third step that we've been using, which is to empower them. We kind of take this, we use it as a model of like scaffolding, right? We're going to be the underlayer for them. We're going to provide the resources for them, physically, emotionally, and sometimes financially, to go out and be the hands of Christ, and to grow in virtue. So ways that my family has done that. We have, as a family, decided to make meals for some people. There was some grumbling from, some of the 10 that didn't want to participate, but we all did it. One person made a salad. We've got, the meatball makers. We've got the pasta. We got the sauce. We've got the salad, and we've got a dessert and bread, etc. Right? And at the end, it looks pretty substantial and pretty cool, and we're all proud of ourselves. And we go and we drop that off. And then we have a quieter meal at home. And there's a recognition that wow, we've just given. And in that act, we've taught charity, we've taught love, right? And we've taught sacrifice. And we're thinking outside of ourselves. And when they're suffering, when you're thinking about the woe is me, and teenagers and all of the kids, they're kind of I'm missing out this. And it's a fair feeling, but we need to encourage them to step outside of that. And we do that by helping them serve. We do that by helping them be the hands, the ears, the eyes of Christ. So I went to the grocery store. I bought some gift cards, just small ones for coffee here or there, or an ice cream cone. And then I challenged my kids, who are the people that you think might feel the most lost? And yeah, it might have been the first few people on their contacts on their phone in the beginning, but then it was actually, this person in the hall, I don't know that they have anybody. And Then came the anonymous letters, right? So my kids would write letters, and how cool is that? And I'm envisioning, the kid on the other side getting this letter, and again, a people of hope, a people of love. Those actions, those small actions, we do small things with great love, and it matters. And so I want to know that at the end of this pandemic, my family has grown closer together as a unit. We have grown together as a body of Christ. And if at all possible, that as a larger body of Christ, even while we're all in our own homes, by outreach in the way that we can, we are growing the body of Christ, and we are becoming Christ bearers. And that is how we are doing this here in the Eberhard home. I'm so grateful for this opportunity, somewhat humbled by it. But I also want to ask that you join me in prayer, because as the churches open up, and we're all going to open up in different ways, right? I really pray deeply that we grow as a body of Christ. I need us to pray for our priests and our deacons and our bishops and our sisters and our seminarians, as all the transitions are going to be different. And again, charity is of the utmost importance. So during this Eastertide, and as we approach Pentecost, I just ask that you join me in that. Thanks so much, and God bless.